Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling something incredibly tough. We're going to walk through a really compassionate, practical guide for navigating one of the absolute hardest conversations a caregiver will ever have, talking to children about a cancer diagnosis. Whether it's your own diagnosis, a grandparent's, or a sibling's, this explainer is designed to equip you with a toolkit sourced directly from expert advice and psychological research. We're going to break down exactly how to structure this talk so that both you and the kids feel supported.
How do you even begin to explain the unexplainable to a kid? Just thinking about that question feels incredibly heavy, right? When a cancer diagnosis hits a family, the dread and the sheer overwhelm that caregivers feel is just staggering. And look, if you're terrified of having this conversation, please know it is completely, 100% normal to worry about saying the wrong thing. You're dealing with your own fear, and the thought of passing even a fraction of that onto your child is paralyzing. But, as our source material reveals, there is a clear, structured way to approach this that actually protects their emotional well-being.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, Honesty over Silence.
When you get earth-shattering news, your very first instinct is probably to just shield your kids. We naturally think that keeping them in a little bubble of innocence is the safest route. But kids, they're incredibly intuitive. They notice the hushed phone calls, the sudden routine changes, the stressed looks on our faces. And when we rely on silence and whispers, their imaginations go into total overdrive. Without the real facts, they invent their own reasons, and I promise you, those imagined scenarios are usually way scarier than reality. Honesty, on the other hand, creates safety. Giving them the real, age-appropriate info is what truly protects them.
Moving on to Section 2, Preparing Yourself First. Before you even think about sitting the kids down, you've got to lay the groundwork for yourself. You really can't go into this completely unprepared, because kids take their emotional cues straight from you. So first, take a minute to process your own emotions. And hey, it is perfectly okay, actually, it's really healthy, to cry in front of your kids. It shows them this is serious and that it's okay to feel sad. You just want to be calm enough to hold space for their reactions. Second, get your facts straight. You don't need a medical degree, just the basics. And third, decide who needs to be there. Ideally, a primary caregiver should be the one breaking the news.
All right, Section 3. Using real, simple words.
Once you're ready and you sit down to talk, you have to be incredibly intentional with your words. The exact vocabulary you choose sets up how they'll understand everything moving forward. Telling a child something like, "Sometimes cells grow the wrong way and crowd out the healthy ones," is such an amazing way to distill a terrifying disease into something they can grasp. A kid's brain can safely process the idea of cells just growing the wrong way. It takes away the spooky mystery and replaces it with a really simple biological fact.
It's super tempting to soften the blow by calling it a boo-boo or just saying someone is under the weather. But experts say absolutely do not do this. Why? Well, if you tell a little kid that grandma has cancer by saying she's just sick, what happens the next time they catch a cold, or you catch a cold? They are going to panic. They'll associate a basic sniffle with a life-threatening crisis. You've got to give the illness its real name. Call it cancer.
You also need to be straight with them about the treatment plan. Using a script like this is perfect for prepping your kids for the physical changes they're going to see. If someone is going to lose their hair or be exhausted all the time, kids need a heads up so they aren't totally blindsided. When you frame these side effects as proof that the medicine is working hard, you magically turn a really scary physical change into a positive sign of fighting back.
Now for Section 4, and this is absolutely vital. Addressing the 3 C's.
Psychologists point out that pretty much all children, no matter their age, secretly harbor 3 big worries when they hear the word cancer. They call them the 3 C's, and we have to tackle these proactively before the kid even asks. The first C? Cause. Did I cause it? Kids are naturally egocentric. They think the whole world revolves around them. Because of that, they might literally believe that a bad thought they had or a time they yelled at you last week actually caused the cancer.
You have to shut that down immediately. Look at them and directly say, "Nothing you said, did, or thought caused this to happen. It is nobody's fault." Imagine the sheer relief, the invisible weight just lifting off their little shoulders hearing you say that out loud. It is so freeing for them.
Okay, the second C is catchy. Kids understand how germs work, right? They know if their best friend has the flu, they can catch it. So, naturally, their brains are going to wonder if they, or you, can catch this cancer. You've got to firmly reassure them that physical affection is still 100% safe. Tell them explicitly, you cannot catch cancer like a cold or a cough. You can still hug, kiss, and sit right next to them without ever catching it. Keeping that physical closeness is vital for their sense of security, and they need your clear permission to know it's safe.
And the final C is care. Who will care for me? At the end of the day, a kid's most fundamental psychological need is just knowing their basic routines and their daily life are going to be secure, even when the adult world feels completely chaotic.
So the key here is to use really specific, tangible examples from their actual life. Don't just give them a generic "you'll be fine." Say, even though some things might change, your school, your soccer practice, and your dinners will still happen. Tie their sense of safety and love directly to the routines they know and rely on.
Our final section, Section 5, providing ongoing support.
Getting through that initial conversation is a huge milestone for sure, but it's really just day one. Keeping the lines of communication open has to be an ongoing priority. Now, here is a massive sigh of relief for you. You are absolutely going to get questions that you don't know the answer to. And guess what? It is totally okay to say, "I don't know." Admitting you don't know, but promising to find out together, doesn't make you look weak. It actually builds an incredible amount of trust.
Another really great strategy is to let them help out. Giving kids age-appropriate tasks like grabbing a glass of water or fetching an extra blanket gives them a real sense of control and purpose when they might otherwise just feel helpless. Also, definitely remind them about their wider support squad. Let them know it is perfectly fine to talk about their feelings with teachers, coaches, or other relatives. Expanding that support network is huge for their resilience.
As we wrap up all these expert insights, I really want to hammer home this one vital reminder. Cancer is disruptive, it's messy, and you just can't prep for every single question. But through all the chaos, remember this: nobody knows your child better than you do. You are the expert on your kid. Trust your instincts on how to support them.
So let's leave off with this thought. This is probably the hardest conversation you'll ever have, but it's also a real opportunity. By choosing honesty, using clear words, and directly addressing their deepest fears, you are showing them that they can trust you completely, even when the world gets really scary. How will you use your unique bond to make this difficult moment a foundation of lasting trust for your family? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Take a deep breath. You've got this.